Welcome to Let's Talk Football with me, Chris.
And me, Richard.
The podcast bringing you the latest in football news. Every week we discuss all the big talking points from the world of football and preview all the action in the week to come.
In this week's podcast, Liverpool ship 7 past United. Arsenal leave it late to win a 5-goal thriller with Bournemouth. Chelsea score a Premier League goal as they beat Leeds. Wolves shock Tottenham in a hard-earned win.
Plenty to talk about. I mean, there's a lot of football, but there's one game I think got postponed. But in the meantime, let's talk football, shall we? Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
How are we doing?
I'm all right. Are you all right?
I mean, I'm numb. I feel nothing. Absolute nothing.
Oh dear.
Just kept going. Just kept getting worse.
To be fair, right? When it was 4,
yeah,
it just seemed like every time they came forward after that, it went in the net.
Yeah, it's just that's the fragility of that whole squad coming through, I think. And I don't know where it came from, that performance. Like
from the depths of somewhere.
You know, it's definitely. Was it? I don't know. Is it an anniversary of Ralph Ragnick or something? What's they were celebrating? What's going on? It was absolutely shocking. Honestly, I don't know where. Like, you look at the way we've been playing recently. That performance has come from nowhere, hasn't it? It's
from both sides, really.
Yeah, from both sides, but.
I mean, they get the goal before half time, and they were lucky to be in front at half time. I thought it was a fairly even first half.
It was. I can't fathom it. It's just, you look at where the performance level that they were, let's say, against the Barca game.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone's saying, "Oh, that's an easy Barca." Did everyone see Barca's performance against Real Madrid the other week?
Yeah.
Even following that, and I'm just like. I just don't know where that came from. It was
just collapsed. Yeah, that's what it was. You just collapsed.
It was like watching England's cricket middle order just falling apart. I've seen that before, but it's just I say, you know, you try and think of reasons why, and I don't think there's any excuses. I don't think Ten Hag will give them any excuses.
It's just a very bad day at the office, isn't it?
But it's almost as if the only thing, and I can possibly think of, and you know, it's still bad whichever way you look at it, was. Maybe there's a little bit of mental fatigue that hit the players. And maybe a little bit of physical, but I think mainly because of all the massive games that they've had.
Yeah.
Like, since the start of Feb, it's been one big game after another. It hasn't stopped. The 2 Barcelona games, the final. Yeah. You know, and it's just keeping that level up, and they just fell apart.
Yeah, they did. They really did just fall apart.
So, you know, we've got Betis on Thursday. We'll see how that goes. If they can, that's at Old Trafford.
Yeah, there'll be a reaction from.
I hope so.
Yeah, there will.
Hope it's a good reaction.
Yeah, well, there'll be a reaction.
Yeah, it's a good reaction.
I mean, I was watching it, and to be brutally honest,
yeah,
I was laughing, but in a very funny way because they just kept coming.
I mean,
the last 2 goals are very comical.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the ball was, I think it was Firmino's one. It was just bouncing around the penalty area. Just landed at Firmino, just put it in the net. There was like 3 Man United players with him. And it was like, how has he scored?
It's so dumb. It's just it's that fragility, I think, that shone through that, okay, we've done really well. We've recovered over the season. There's been an improvement, but that fragility is at the heart of this squad. It still needs to be worked out of the squad, doesn't it? There's still that capability.
Moments in there from players.
Yeah. That they just fall off, get a bit complacent or
Bruno
whatever.
Fernandes, I think, is a very lucky boy.
Well, I've seen it, and I'm like, well, the linesman's kind of grabbed him.
Yeah.
So get off him. He has. I think he kind of.
If someone
comes up to you and grabs you, and you kind of go out of the way, and I think that's fair.
But I think he's trying to stop him doing something worse.
Yeah, but
obviously, there was an altercation between the 2 players on the touchline.
It's not for the linesman to get involved. You can't, as an official.
Yeah,
I think your best way of dealing with that situation is
It's just to
stay
let it
out the
fizzle
way.
out. Yeah.
I thought, a lot of referees will do that. They'll let them have their little handbags and then they'll sort them out after. And,
But I thought the shove was completely unnecessary.
Get off me. I'll back it. Get off me.
Oh, dear.
But no, it's a bad day.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the performance. Liverpool are coming for everybody.
I think they're on. I think
they are on the march.
I think they've got a good chance of getting in the top 4.
Yeah, I mean they've closed the gap again.
Yeah,
obviously they've done their goal difference the world of good.
Yeah, they've closed that gap. So let's have a look at that gap in closing situation. No. You wanted to come at me. Let's talk about you conceding a goal to this pace merchant.
I don't need to.
That is Adama Traore.
See the league table at the moment. Thank you. I don't want to watch it.
Unfortunately, the run of Christian Stellini has come to an end.
It has, and he's back now as well.
Yeah. So
there was rumours.
Yeah.
There was rumours. Obviously, normally the last time he came back, there was a photo on the Monday to say, "Oh, look, Antonio Conte's back." There was no such photo this time.
No.
It was only in the press conference on Tuesday that we actually found out that Antonio Conte was indeed back in the UK.
Okay.
And then they put the picture out saying, "Oh, look, the boss is back."
Oh, no.
Oh, fan-bloody-tastic.
Oh, no. It's all right. You just got what, Milan?
Milan well, by the time you listen to this, if you listen to it when it's put out, I will be going to Milan to watch the Milan game in about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Probably.
Off he goes.
Off he goes, yeah.
But yeah, no, not a good performance from Tottenham on Saturday.
I disagree. No? I don't think so. It was a good performance.
There was no quality in the front.
We
in the
just
final
could
third.
Not find the back of the net. That was our biggest problem. With the post, with the bar, with everything else. And then, obviously, you should say the sucker punch at the end from Speed Merchant.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, it was one of those performances that, as a Tottenham fan, you knew it was coming.
You're very much used to it.
You're very much, yeah. As soon as you get that late in the game, after dominating most of it,
yeah,
and not scoring, you know who's going to concede.
That's it.
And we did. And to be fair, he's lucky because it hits the bar and comes down. But it's a good shot from Traore, to be fair.
No, it is. He's done well. And it's a good
he pulls
win.
His side away from trouble.
I was about to say, important win for Wolves. Pulls them up to 13th.
And as you said in the intro, it was hard-earned because they had to stay in the game.
No, they did. They worked.
Yeah, they had to stay in the game. And the thing was, they made substitutions to affect the game.
Yeah.
And we just kind of stood there. We didn't. Yeah. I think the first change we made was 76 minutes.
I think the problem that you have, obviously, you've got Richarlison.
We got Richarlison on the bench
as an attacking option, but
I genuinely have no idea why we bought Arnaut Danjuma.
He's just not playing.
He didn't come on against Sheffield United. We needed a goal. He didn't come on at the weekend. We needed a goal.
Do you know what it is, though?
What's the point?
Do you know what? Do you know what I see, though? It's like Richarlison's the only one that can potentially improve in terms of quality.
Yeah.
He's the only one that could potentially improve the three that were out there,
the front
right?
Three. Yeah.
Because
I get that. Yeah.
you don't taking Son off. You're not taking Harry Kane off when you need a goal for Danjuma. You know what I mean?
He offers you something different.
He does, but that's why. But Richarlison does. So he what was it? Kulusevski
yeah, but
that came off.
Richarlison scored 2 goals all season.
Yeah. Yes, it was Kulusevski
Ben Davies
that came
come
on
off for Richarlison.
Okay, so you were going for it a bit more.
So we were, but after the show,
he brought Lucas Moura on, didn't he?
He brought Lucas Moura on for Kulusevski. Now Lucas is out of contract in the summer.
Yeah.
He's 31.
Yeah.
He played in the game against Sheffield United, was completely ineffective.
Yeah.
So why not give him a go?
It's a strange one.
Oh, to be honest, I'm done with Antonio Conte. Physically parked. We know he's going in the summer.
Yeah.
Let's just get it over and done with.
Never mind. Right, let's move on. Let's talk about Arsenal. It's really, really make you feel better about the last weekend.
Oh, do you know what? They are so jammy. It's unbelievable. So jammy.
What a game, though. Good game.
It was a great game of football.
They were 2-0 down as well, weren't they?
They were 2-0 down. They were a goal down in 9.1 seconds.
Yeah, it was very quick.
Straight from the kickoff. And to be fair to Bournemouth, that was a really good thing that they did.
Yeah.
It was a well-worked goal. You caught them cold.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that kind of thinking that's really good to see. And then they go the second goal up and you're like, hello. Oh my God, the wheel is coming off the wagon.
Yeah, and then what was it, 8 minutes? Well,
not even that, 5 minutes between the two.
5 minutes between the two goals, but then Arsenal were back in it by...
Ben White equalised with like 20 minutes to play, and you're like, right, come on, Bournemouth, just hang on. For God's sake.
And they nearly did. But they're not... But Reece Nelson from out of nowhere,
Nelson
by the way.
with the goal, yeah.
Out of nowhere, he suddenly turned up and started playing a few games recently. And
but
absolutely smashed it.
It's one of those moments you go, they're going to win the league, aren't they?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think that there's a good chance Arsenal...
Things like that don't normally happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're level now, aren't they, at the top on games?
Yeah.
So the 5-point gap is a real gap.
There. Yeah. It's a real thing now.
Sure.
Yeah. But for them getting investigated for the celebrations after the goal, behave. Honestly.
Oh, dear.
They're being investigated for celebrating
a late winner.
97-minute winner.
Yeah, I know, it's a joke, isn't it?
It's ridiculous.
It is dumb.
That's coming from me.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Just let them have their moment.
Just let them have their... it's a fantastic moment.
Yeah, and at home as well. It's not as if you're away from home, getting in front of the away fans and
the
giving it all that.
went mental.
Yeah.
That's why... I'm going to go all philosophical here. That's why I love football.
Yeah.
For moments like that. There is nothing better than scoring a winner like that from 2-0 down as well. Yeah. You don't get that any kind of emotion in any other sport.
Yeah. Apart from maybe when you're 2-0 down at half time at White Hart Lane and then you smack 5 in the second half and just business as usual.
Were you 2-0 down? Are you sure about that? Would you like to phone a friend?
I thought we were 2-0 down at half time against you lot. Or was it?
You were 3-0 down.
I mean, that's even better, and it was still just business as usual.
You were 3-0 down at half time.
I mean,
come back to 1-5-3. I remember.
Were you there?
No.
It
was before I had a season ticket. Yeah. In fairness, I've seen us lose 4-3 to Manchester City after being 3-0 up, so I've had that pain.
Yeah. Lovely times.
Speaking of which, I wasn't going to mention this, but you've stuck the knife in again.
Yeah.
Today's stream or today's podcast, sponsored by 7-Up. There we go.
Okay, fine. Don't worry. I'm sure there's plenty of us absolutely smacking you, so don't worry about it. Man City with a very, very comfortable win over Newcastle.
Yeah, comfortable. Newcastle
first
still
goal
with a bit of a
winning.
hangover.
Yeah, I think Newcastle. I think this is the beginning of the drop off for Newcastle.
You fear it's probably going to be like that. Yeah.
I think it was coming before the final, so I wouldn't say the final was the thing.
Yeah,
because they have had a few bad results.
Well for a while.
Yeah, and I think this is now the decline is kind of coming in, and they'll just be, they might finish 6th, 7th, but Chelsea have showed signs of recovery.
Life. Yeah.
They're not perfect. They're not playing great, Chelsea, but they dug out the result against Leeds. They dug out a result against Dortmund as well in the Champions League. So there's signs there that they could be recovering. We don't know. I mean,
obviously you've got to keep an eye on Brighton as well. Yeah,
Brighton are in it. Obviously Liverpool are now improving and probably chasing Tottenham down at this point.
Yeah.
So I think if Newcastle can be in the top 6, 7, that's a good season. They'd have taken that at the start of the year.
Yeah, they would have done.
Given where they have been, they might be slightly disappointed with it, though, I think.
Yeah, but it's slow, steady progress, isn't it? You don't want to go too early with this. because you then get into the falsehood of sort of, oh, well, we'll qualify for the Champions League. Everyone will improve next year. So you're going to have to be better next year.
Exactly.
So you're better making small steps rather than jumping. You've only got to look at Everton.
Yeah.
Obviously, Everton qualified for the Champions League from nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
What did they do? Nothing.
No.
So, yeah. I think you've got to temper your enthusiasm a little bit. They've made massive strides.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're probably 3 or 4 players away from making a bigger stride.
Especially when you consider where they were last season.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, they've still, as we were talking about last week with Callum Wilson, obviously Isaac is the upgrade.
Yeah.
But he hasn't had enough game time to get his feet under the table yet.
That's right.
And, you know, if you can get that man at the top of the pitch scoring goals, that's half the battle.
No, you're right.
Defensively, they're very good.
Yeah, they are very comfortable. Elsewhere then, let's have a look at Brighton.
I mean, West Ham, what they giveth, they taketh away.
Yeah, absolutely.
To their supporters.
Just when you think there is a sign of moving forward, they get a 4-0 result against Brighton. A very good Brighton team, by the way. It's never ever. Let's not underestimate how good Brighton have been.
But some of those goals were completely avoidable.
Yeah, definitely.
Completely. I mean, Veltman's chested it in near enough on the goal line.
Yeah. Completely
unmarked. Matoma's done exactly the same thing at the far post.
Yeah.
Even Danny Welbeck's goal. He had miles of space to have a shot.
Yeah, I think it is odd what's going on at West Ham at the minute. They're very inconsistent, but unfortunately for West Ham fans, they are too close to the relegation zone to see themselves in this position. And I think they need to get themselves... I mean, it's always a controversial thing to say, but I think they need to get themselves out of Europe because they've got the Conference League going on. They need to just sap that off.
I would temper that and go the other way.
Yeah,
I think the Conference League coming back might be the thing that helps them.
See, I think
get a bit of momentum going, maybe.
I get it, I do, but if anything else, it's extra games in the legs for players.
Yeah,
it's not. It's less so the distraction. It's the physical wear on the players that are obviously struggling at the minute as it is.
They've not got the biggest squad. Yeah.
And so, you know, it's got to be important. It's got to be imperative that they stay in the league, and that is not guaranteed right now. They're a point away from the relegation zone. Yeah, really getting dragged into it. So it is a struggle for them, and down there it is getting tight. And Leicester have very much been pulled back into it when we thought they might be starting to get out of it. With an absolute, Southampton managed to pull themselves off the bottom of the league now. Yeah,
Crystal Palace are the team I'm worried about.
I think Palace will be okay.
The trouble is they can't win,
but they can score. They've got
score goals. They've got enough goals in the side.
Yeah. And they lost. Well, they lost Chet Decore, didn't they? To a red card.
To a silly.
Yeah.
I mean, you got booked within 5 minutes of the other one. And you're like,
yeah. It's a bit silly. But I think there's enough goals in the Palace team. I think there's other teams that struggle for goals more.
Yeah. I just would be worried. I mean, they've not won since the resumption.
Yeah.
After Christmas, and we knew someone would do this.
Yeah.
That they wouldn't have a great time of it after the World Cup.
I think there's enough of a gap in there and enough quality in that squad going forward, especially.
Well, especially if people are saying Wolves are now safe. They're on the same amount of points. So,
yeah, I don't necessarily buy that either. I think anyone up to Palace needs to
still be worried a little bit.
Yeah. I think you need to be getting for. Obviously, no one's safe until the end of the season, really, until we get to that around that 40 point mark is.
Well, to be fair, I don't think any of these are going to get there, are they?
I think that's what I was just thinking. I don't think they will. I think there's 13 games left.
Yeah. 20. So what are we looking at? Maybe 35 being the cut-off?
I think that might be a decent shout. If you get a point a game between now and the end of the season, I think on average.
Yeah. I'd say between 35 and 38 maybe.
Yeah.
You'd be safe with that.
Yeah.
You'd be lucky to go down with that many. Yeah.
Or unlucky to go down.
Unlucky to go down, sorry.
So
then that just shows the competitiveness of the bottom. Obviously,
yeah,
teams have gone down with more points than that.
absolutely, yeah. But we'll see how it all kind of plans out, because it is getting quite tasty down now. Obviously, Leeds lost as well to Chelsea, and Leicester have been pulled back in. Everton and Forest drew, didn't they? So Everton have...
Yeah, neither of those got away. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Forest probably... Where are Forest? Yeah, Forest are still very much in the shout, so neither one of them was able to pull a result out there. And then, obviously, there was the Monday night game, which was a very entertaining game. The final game. Brentford and Fulham. Another 5-goaler.
I must admit, right, I was watching this, but then got bored.
Yeah.
And started to watch something else. I thought it finished 2-1 to Brentford.
No,
I didn't realise there was 2 more goals.
It very much kicked off after the 85th minute, to be honest.
Yeah.
Ivan
Toney,
but
though.
it was comfortable. It was comfortable because it was 3-1 really, and then Carlos
Vinicius
gets a goal. Have him back at Tottenham.
No. Okay. But Ivan Toney, ice in his veins, that boy.
Oh yeah.
He might be getting a ban for all his misdemeanours, but when it comes to penalties, I don't want anybody else on with.
Yeah. No, he's good. Very, very, very solid, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair to Bernd Leno, he got close to it, which is more than most do.
It's the power, though, isn't it?
It's just the power in the shot.
The power and the accuracy is just, on penalties,
it's just the way he saunters up to take it. It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, he's unmatched.
Yeah, definitely.
Indeed. So, that's pretty much it for your Premier League roundup. It's looking interesting. Arsenal 5 points clear at the top. Liverpool closing in on the top 4. And then the relegation battle, which is very, very tight, with about,
13 games left for most.
3 points between the bottom 6 teams. So, and a few others not that far away. So
ridiculous.
It is very, very close. Very close. Right then, do you want to take us around the world?
I am going to take us around the world. I'm going to start a little bit closer to home this week, where Watford announced a new manager in Chris Wilder, just 17 minutes after announcing the departure of Slaven Bilic. He becomes their 9th permanent manager since 2019. Everyone thinks they've got problems. Watford have got bigger ones. Next, we go to Serie A, where Napoli lost to Lazio. Inter won to close the gap. To 15 points. Elsewhere, a crazy end to the Roma versus Juventus game, where Moise Kean lasted just 40 seconds after coming off the bench before seeing red. They lost the game by 1-0. To the Bundesliga title race, where Union Berlin lost more ground on the top 2 after drawing with Cologne. Bayern and Dortmund are level on points, still on 49 apiece. It's just as interesting at the bottom of the table, with 4 teams on 19 and 1 on 20. The Bundesliga is the place to be for drama at the moment. In La Liga, Barcelona had a man sent off, but still beat Valencia by 1-0 thanks to Rafinha. Real drew with Betis to fall 9 points behind them. The scrap to stay in La Liga is just as fascinating as the Bundesliga, where bar Elche on 12, the next 8 teams are separated by just 4 points. It's crazy. In France, PSG's hangover is definitely in the rearview mirror after beating Nantes by 4-2. Marseille beat Rennes by 1-0 to cement second place. 8 points separates the two sides. To Saudi, where 3 stoppage time goals for Al Nazir saw them past Albertine, and a total of 16 minutes were played in added time, which seemed to baffle everyone. Let's move on. In the MLS, last season's champions LAFC got the defence of their title off to a winning start by beating Portland by 3-2. In the A-League, the best game was to be found in New South Wales, where MacArthur beat the Brisbane Roar by 3-2. And finally, to the WSL and the Cup final this weekend, where Manchester United's women did what the men couldn't and beat Leicester by 5-1. Reading beat West Ham, Aston Villa beat Everton, and Manchester City beat Tottenham. And in the WSL Cup final, Arsenal came from behind to beat Chelsea by 3-1, securing the trophy for the first time since the 17-18 season in front of just over 19,000 at Selhurst Park.
Yeah, we're going to win the league. Come on.
But you're going to win the league in one thing at least.
Well, hopefully. I mean, Chelsea are still in there very much, Lee. I think they've got a couple games. And Chelsea are very solid in that league.
I was surprised they lost to Arsenal in the end, you know.
I was and I wasn't, because obviously that Arsenal team is still a strong team. And
it's still a strong team, but you would have backed that Chelsea side at 1-0 up.
But with the likes of Beth Mead or whatever to come through for them, they're never out the question.
Never out of the game. No,
definitely got the quality to do that. But hopefully United top of the league. That's what we like to see. Something good to talk about. Right, Donis Avdijaj, our wonder kid from the world of Football Manager 2016. What's he been up to?
So, in the Austrian Bundesliga with Hartberg, they won. They won by 2-1 against Wolfsburg, which is by no means, that's a scalp for Hartberg. Wolfsburg were playing in the Europa League a couple of seasons ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it moves them on to 17 points. Donis played the entire game. Didn't have anything really to do with it, with any of the goals, but he played the entire game.
He played the game. He was on the pitch.
He was on the field when everything happened.
Making those important runs, creating space for his teammates, I'm sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
Go on, Donis. Show him what's what.
He's going to be top goal scorer by the end of the season.
I reckon so. Right then, shall we have a quick look at this weekend's fixtures before we wrap up?
Let's do that. So we start on Saturday lunchtime with Bournemouth versus Liverpool. Leeds take on Brighton at 3 o'clock, as do Everton and Brentford. Leicester and Chelsea. Tottenham and Nottingham Forest as well. The 5:30 game is at Selhurst Park between Crystal Palace and Man City. 3 games at 2 o'clock on Sunday. Manchester United against Southampton. West Ham versus Aston Villa. Fulham against Arsenal. That could be a tricky trip to the cottage for Arsenal before the 4:30 game. Newcastle take on Wolves.
Lots of good things to come this weekend. So thank you all very, very much for listening this week. Don't forget, if you want to get in touch with us, it's at Let's Football Pod on Twitter, or you can email us at letsfootballpod@gmail.com. We'll be back next week. Hopefully I'll be in a better mood and things will be back to as they have been for the last 3 or 4 months, rather than what they were last year. But for now, I will see you all. I'll see you all very, very soon, and you'll be back too. See ya.
Bye.